Hi, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. All right. How you doing, everybody here tonight? Hope you are enjoying your weekend. And my name is Hugh. We are preparing to get this thing up on YouTube. Not sure why it's not working yet, but hopefully it will kick in here any moment to stream. It seems to be having an issue with YouTube for later. So if anybody is watching, of course, you're not going to be able to hear this, I guess. But anyway, you're there, I'm here. That's all that matters right now. And we're going to go solo again tonight, I believe. I'm not really sure if Aaron's going to be on or not. We shall see. All right. Well, we're going to leave the YouTube where it is because we'll see where that goes. All right. So, okay, it is December the 10th, 2023, heading into the end of the year. I see a lot of people still joining us here, folks. Come on in, gang. Lots of room right here up in the front. And I just want to mention there's a questions box for your questions and comments. If it looks like I'm in pain here tonight, yes, I am. A couple days ago, I was moving some luggage around, helping somebody move, and it completely destroyed my right thumb. I need this. And it's been in pain ever since. I got an email out to my chiropractor. Hopefully he'll take me tomorrow. I'm afraid of the treatment he's going to give me. That's probably even more painful. But I hope he can do something with it. Let's say it's completely swollen and I can't bend it, I can't move it. I can't even, I can't even hold a toothbrush. That's how painful it is. So hope you never have to go through that. So my only comment on all that is be very careful with everything you do. I'm just kind of comparing my thumbs right now. This one's really swollen, probably about 30, 40, 50% more than the other one. As we get older, I guess we're not kids, like, right? I'm 68. I'll be 69 in January. So we're not kids anymore. And we can't recover like that anymore. We don't have the strength we had when we were younger, or the resilience, or whatever that is that we had as we were kids. So anyway, all right. I know you don't care about that. I know. I just anyway, folks. There's the questions box for your questions and comments. Please use that. I am the only one that sees that. And if Aaron joins us, he too will be on, but I don't see him on right now. So isn't that funny that whenever the video freezes, it has me in such an ugly pose that that it's very I'm not very photogenic. Anyway, all right. So questions box open for your questions and comments. If it sounds like I'm killing a couple of minutes here, it's because I am, because a lot of people are still joining us. All right. A lot of people still coming online. So good to have you all here. While we're waiting, yes, I just have a question here to ask you if you've seen this presentation before in the past. If you have, put in the questions box. You'll find a little questions box icon on your Zoom dashboard. Just click on that. I'm the only one that sees that. Just say yes or no if you've been here before. And just to give me an idea. Also, okay, thank you so much, Mary H. Try arnica cream gel if you have any. 69 years young. I wish I could. I wish I was. I feel like I'm 29. Mary, I feel like I'm 29 here. All right. It's called stupidity but lucky. Yes, Johnny. Thank you for those comments. LOL. LOL. Everyone is that. Love you all too. Yes. Hello. Okay. Yes. Okay. No. All right. Some no's here. All right. So my next question to you, I don't have the question up on the board here, but if you are new to options, new to SPY, new to us, punch that up in the questions box as well. And what we're going to do tonight, if there are a lot of people or enough people, even if there's one of you, we'll stay after the normal session, which after the normal sort of session where we review the week and talk about the upcoming week, and talk about the trading room, which is what we're going to do, and take your questions and whatnot. We'll stay afterwards to give you a brief primer on options And why SPY? Why now? Why day trade SPY? Okay. All right. No, okay. A lot of people are new to options. Newbie, new here, 3 weeks. No, okay. I'm just kind of going through some of these comments here. A lot of comments. Wow. Okay. All right. Looks like we have a really varied audience here tonight from all walks of trading experience. And good to have you all here. In the absence of discrete trauma, this is likely a tendonitis and needs a steroid injection. Chiropractor will not help. See orthopedic surgeon care. I was an MD rheumatologist, arthritis, and it's what I would have done. Okay, thanks for that, Ralph. Yeah, I just may go that path too, because I don't remember actually injuring this hand. And that's the irony of it, okay? I'm only sort of surmising that that's what happened because I was lifting something heavy with that hand, some luggage, but I don't remember actually or feeling anything at that time. It sort of came a day later. Anyway, all right. So, all right. What was I going to ask you another question? Just out of curiosity, where's everybody from here? Why don't you just tell me where you're all from here? Just tell me where you are and kind of get an idea as to where our audience is. I know that normally we are located, well, we are wherever you are, but kind of an idea where everybody is here. And I'm also thinking we're actually talking with some of the people back at the office that maybe we should have this maybe, different times to facilitate different time zones. And I know 8 o'clock Eastern is fine for many people, but maybe if you are in Europe, that might be like 2 in the morning to you or something, or 1 in the morning. That might be a little tough to take. Maybe if you are overseas or in Australia or somewhere else, that might be like 8 in the morning to you. And so we're just kind of getting ideas to maybe we should actually have different times. Okay, all right. So we are actually Eastern time zone. So there's a few people here going, slowing down a little bit here, 2 and 3 hours behind. Atlanta, Georgia, Alaska. You're 3 hours back there in Alaska, Dan. What is that? Just after 5 o'clock there. Texas, Atlanta, Long Island, Arkansas, Nebraska, Florida, Central Florida, Delaware, Las Vegas, Palm Beach, Florida, Houston, Tucson, New Orleans, St. Louis. Okay, a lot of Eastern time zone, and actually mostly the U.S. here. Right as we scroll down here, Pennsylvania, Toronto, Canada, Ontario. Okay, Philadelphia, Kingsville, New Mexico, Texas, Spokane, Washington, North Carolina, Keller, Texas, Boise, Reno. Okay, Betty Jane, good to see you on. Pittsburgh. Whoa, we have a lot of people chiming in here. Nairobi, Kenya. Okay, British Columbia. Alex F. Haven't talked to you in a long time. All right, let's get on with it, folks. Thank you for your patience here. Brief disclaimer. I'll give you a couple seconds to read this through. I think y'all know the deal on this. You alone are responsible for all your own trading. All right, past performance does not guarantee future results. All right, so I think you've all understood that. Let me know if you still need more time to read this. I will be quiet for about 20 seconds here while I read some of these other comments here. Okay. Okay. And yes, we are recording this. Thank you for the comments on that. Okay.
Recording in progress.
Thanks for reminding me on that, Bill. We are recording this, so let's go back right now. This is the weekend review for December the 10th, 2023. And my name is Hugh. Going solo on this tonight. Aaron's got the night off. And December the 10th, 2023. Questions box. Okay. And we just did this little review. There is the disclaimer, which we just went through. All right. So let's move along here. Meet your hosts. Well, my name is Hugh. All right. And just a little brief background about myself here, because I know a lot of you don't know. A lot of you don't know me or anything. And I know many of you have. You've seen this before. You sort of know the story, but I'm just going to be very brief about this. I come from a corporate world many years ago, internal auditor for an insurance company, and Used to hand off a lot of my money to my financial advisor for my future, my retirement. And by the time I realized what was going on, he had blown up half my account. So I took back control, learned how to do this myself, and I became very good at it. I started with equities. I looked at a few other instruments because I think that's what we do. Um, we're like those little toys, those little cars. You wind them up and they go, and then they hit an obstacle, turns on its back, and goes the other way until it hits another obstacle, turns back, and then you keep going, right? And I think I was kind of like that with probably a lot of traders are like that. You do something and it works until it doesn't, and then you run away, you find something else until that doesn't work, and you run away and you find something else. But ultimately I discovered options, day trading options on SPY. Now, did I always make money on that? No, of course not. I lost a lot of money along the way. I made a lot of money. I also lost a lot of money. I celebrated the wins, but I also took lessons, especially from the losses. And the funny thing is, the the more you recognize some of the struggles you're having, and you do less of those things that you're losing money on, and wondering why, okay, this trade was good yesterday and no longer is it a good trade today. I'm doing the same thing. What am I doing wrong? What changed? When you delve into it and realize that, maybe you're not doing something wrong, maybe something has changed. What was it that changed? What should I be looking at? What should I be looking for? Or how can I change this? Anyway, you stop doing those things, so many things that are hurting you, and do more things that are helping you. Eventually, you start making some pretty serious money in the market. And I think that's where I was going with this. So eventually, I started making some pretty good money and bringing home a lot of toys and stuff. And people started asking, "What are you doing, Hugh?" And I would tell them I'm day trading options. They thought I won a lottery or something. I said, "No, no, no, no lottery." And by the way, I still have losses. I have losses. I'm not going to kid you. And then they coerced me into showing them. So we put things up on a website, and just everything ballooned from there. And that was back in 2010. We've been training people live, been doing the inner circle, trading room, courses, all kinds of stuff, one-on-ones, everything. And so last year in 2022, but a year and a little bit ago, I guess it was October, was it September, October last year? Eagle Financial Publications bought us out, but they kept me on. Can't escape. So that's fine. We're here. We're still here. And we're still doing what we're doing. Anyway, we're going stronger than ever. And they've introduced Aaron Stevens, who came from, he was actually a technical analyst for a $150 million commodity fund. Now he's self-described as I guess he would call himself a nerd in a good way. Back when all his friends were in high school and doing sports and whatever they were doing, Aaron would be down in the library, and he'd be looking at charts, and he would be charting and reading the Wall Street Journal and all these things. And that's what he would be doing. So he's actually learned quite a bit, and he's actually an excellent trader. And so he's along with us now in the trading room that we do every morning. So we're very excited and happy to have him along. All right, and if he does pop in, then I'll certainly bring him up and he'll say hi and stuff. But let's move along. That's kind of our background, okay? That's our background. So tonight, let's take a look and see what's going on to be discussed. What happened last week in the market? What happened? The upcoming we're going to talk about. We're also going to discuss the 2 to 10K challenge. We'll look at your challenges. I will answer some of your questions that you've got up on the board here. There's a lot of questions that have come up, and hopefully we're going to get to them, all of them, hopefully, and answer your questions. And then we're going to kind of stop that part of the presentation. But for those who are new to options, new to SPY, just stick around because we'll stay around for another few minutes after that, and I'll give you a brief primer on options and SPY and what we do and why you should be a part of what we do as far as that is concerned. Anyway, that's kind of the let me go back to this here. I think this is I'm trying to get this there it is. I want to get that little segment in there about the with the movement on the PowerPoint. Anyway, okay. I put all this work in the PowerPoint, so I want to see it kind of roll out the way it's supposed to. All right, so here's a look at what happened last week. And I've included actually last Friday's in there as well because the market shot up on Friday. I think that's kind of an important part of why last week was the way it was. So what happened real quick, we're going to go over last week because it's not so much where you've been that's important as much as where you're going. Although we should look at last week, we had some real huge swings in the market last week. All right, so the market shot up the Friday before. And then on Monday, it was a low, no news day, as a matter of fact. SPY reacted to technical trading, retraced on Friday's gains. So actually, we hit this, we ran up to not quite the 460 level, but there's very strong resistance there. And right in pre-market, we actually dropped a few points and came right down. So when the market started to come down, it gained a lot of momentum to the downside on the Monday. All right, retraced all the way back down around 454 and a half. On Tuesday, we actually got some news reports. A lower than expected JOLTS job openings. That superseded the higher than forecast PMI report, initially sending SPY north, then the reactionary drop closed about a point higher than the open. All right, so we're actually getting some conflicting kind of news here. And it's not just the news, but it's how the market interprets the news. And also, I guess if you want to look at an interim kind of a factor in there, it's how the mainstream media interprets the news and how investors and traders interpret the interpretation from the pundits on the mainstream media as to what the news is like. So there's a lot of moving parts to why the market, the stock moves the way it does. On Wednesday, we got a non-farm employment change, raised SPY in pre-market, triggering profit taking at the upper end. That's at the 458 level. And by the day's end, SPY did drop to its knees, again, losing several points, just under 455. On Thursday, we came in at a lower than forecast unemployment claims report. Buying opportunities kicked in right there. When we saw that support right around the mid 454, it bounced around there for pretty much the whole pre-market. And then it picked up some legs when it turned into like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. And a lot of buyers came back. They recognized a good buying opportunity for the stock. Friday, a little different story. We had some positive economic data that pushed SPY higher, possibly ending the good news is bad news experience. Bad news is good news, as investors believe no further rate hikes are likely this year. So this is the interesting thing. These days, when you have bad news on the economy, that's generally good news for the stock market, right? Because the investors and traders are afraid that good news is going to inspire the Feds to raise interest rates. But we're not necessarily seeing that now. In fact, it's kind of mixed. So we're trying to see how the markets are going to react to different kinds of news. But that's where we're going on that. So it has been a challenging week, no question about it. But this is what happened here this last week. We had SPY, it gained about 0.2. Actually, the S&P 500 gained 0.2%. Year to date, we're just under 20%, folks. SPY really came up nicely here. The NASDAQ rose 37.6% year to date. Dow Jones stayed put at 9.4% for the year. And basically this last week, we had a labor market remaining strong, but gradually loosening, paving the way for a rate cut, although they're not sure when that's going to be. Now, there was talk about later in the year in Q4, then dropped down to Q3, and then we're hearing rumblings that it could be as early as March when the Feds are going to think about possibly reducing interest rates. I'm not so sure, but we'll see what they say. They don't ask me, folks. Inflation is falling faster than the Feds projected. And the PCE, personal consumption expenditure, which is actually a main, very key ingredient that the Feds look at. All right, this is a very important inflation kind of a number that the Feds look at and make their judgment calls on. It's expected to end the year at 3.9%, revised down to 3.7 in September, now showing 3.5% in October. So this is actually looking pretty good. And they say that it might even be marked further down later this week. We're going to see what happens on that. And if that happens, then quite possibly, I'm thinking here, well, we just might see a reduction in rates sooner than we thought. Not really sure. I know there's some mixed feelings on that whole thing. Oil prices fell with gasoline its lowest since December last year, down 17% in the last 2 months, the pumps here. Rising oil production in the U.S., output cut from OPEC, and slower growth in China helped push WTI oil down to $70 a barrel. That's kind of an oil, I think it's like a sweet crude oil. By comparison, U.S. crude exports are up at an all-time high, 19% from last year, averaging 4 million barrels a day. This also, no doubt, helped push oil prices down, energy prices down, and of course, with it, curbs inflation. From a seasonal standpoint, let's take a look. This is a seasonal chart. This is a seasonal chart, and the way this shows that blue line at the top, that is where SPY is now. And that red line at the bottom is a composite of the last 5 years closing price on the daily charts. Okay, let's zero in on this here to see where this went. If we focus in on where the stock came from a week ago and where it's going a week from now, well, historically over the last 5 years, SPY actually remained flat over the last week. Seasonally, however, it dropped about 3 points the following week. Now, doesn't mean it's going to happen again necessarily, but you can expect perhaps a little downward pressure on that as I anticipate that we're going to gear up for the Santa rally, which tends to happen every year soon after this drop. So we're going to wait and see what happens. Now, you could even have this could have been a one major drop in the last 5 years and 4 upward ticks, but not really sure. I don't have the data on that as to what caused it to go down, but we're going to wait and see what happens. So, but that's just the seasonality of it. All right, so let's take a look at the week ahead and see what's going to happen here. All right, so Monday, another no news day. Nothing is scheduled for Monday that should move the markets, although any unscheduled news could, of course, move the market like crazy, right? But on Tuesday, we do have a consumer price index, CPI. We're going to get a core month over month, and a year over year. These are numbers that come out. And again, these are numbers that the Feds are going to be looking at along with Wednesday's producer price index, core month over month and month over month. So there's going to be a couple reports there. The big news on Wednesday, the Fed funds rate, conference call, whatever the discussions surrounding that. That's going to be on Wednesday. That's what we're going to really see. Now we could see markets going up. We could see them retrace. We're going to wait and see what happens. A lot of what happens on Wednesday, however, is going to depend on what the numbers are going to be like on Tuesday and Wednesday, right? So we could actually still see a possible, downward move. I'm not sure. I was looking at the trend of what the probability of rate increases baked into the futures over the last few days. I think about a week or so, a week and a half ago, they're expecting 100% that outlook that they're not going to raise the rates this week, this month, December. But the last few days, that actually came down to around 96, 97% that they're not going to. So there's still an outside chance. And don't forget, they did talk about, a while back that they're still looking at another rate increase, before the end of the year. Although it doesn't look like it's going to happen right now, but depends on what the numbers are going to come in like. All right, so anyway, that's going to be Wednesday. On Thursday, we've got an unemployment claims report, retail sales numbers, and on Friday, the Empire State Manufacturing Index, also known as the New York State Manufacturing Index, and the flash manufacturing PMI report, and the flash services PMI report from S&P Global. So there's going to be some pretty good activity here later in the week. So watch for volatility. Could be light on Monday, but it's going to ramp up on Tuesday into Wednesday and remain elevated for the rest of the week. I anticipate Wednesday to be could be some pretty wild swings going on Wednesday. All right, could be some pretty wild swings, but volatility could be high into the end of the week on this one. Best thing to do here, aim for some modest gains Monday, but higher potential is going to be Tuesday to the end of the week. So the tip here is to trade small, trade often, trade carefully. All right, that's the week ahead. All right, so there I is again. We have many opportunities every day to make money on the stock market, and we show you how to spot them and how to trade them. And that's what we do. Now, what I'm going to show you is the 2 to 10K challenge numbers. All right, this is the report here for last week. So for those of you unfamiliar with this is version number 2. Version number 1 was a challenge that we entered into and started in April. We decided to take $2,000 and turn it into $10,000 in 3 months. And actually, I think we came in a week or so ahead of schedule on that one. And it was so popular that people wanted to do it again. So we had version 2 starting September the 25th, and within 3 months to take us up to December the 25th, we expect $2,000 to turn into $10,000. So right now, our actual balance is $8,973, but our budget should be only around $7,778, which puts us $1,195 ahead of schedule, which is a nice place to be. As a matter of fact, if we don't trade for the next week, we're still going to be on schedule. Okay. Now over here, the profit target. So what I do here is I have the beginning balance, the ending balance, the profit target for every day. Coming up tomorrow, my profit target's only going to be $194. It almost seems easier to do this as time goes by, because what happens is we've got this all mapped out. And what I do is I take how much money I am able to trade. So in this case, $89.73. And I see how much the options cost. I divide the profit target by how many options I'm going to buy. And I'm finding that as this goes on, I don't have to make quite as much money as I did in the earlier days. So right now, if I even make 5 or 6, maybe 7 cents, even to cover commission, it's quite doable. So you have to buy the right option, give yourself some time, even though we're here to exit the trade within a few minutes, hopefully. All right. The idea here is to play it safe, ramp it up nice and carefully. And that's what I show over here. That's how many, on the notes section here, that's how many options I bought. There's an example on Friday, about 25, the 458 call options at 318, and I sold them at $3.30. And of course, it goes further down the line. I didn't show you the entire spreadsheet here, but this is what I'm showing you the last week. So here's the graph of what happened since September the 25th. We got a good head start. Had a little bump in the road here back in late November, just around Thanksgiving, as a matter of fact, the day before and the day after Thanksgiving. We got kind of head faked out on a couple trades in there and took a bit of a loss. Cut the losses short, got back on track, and we're ahead of the game right now. And again, we hope to hit our $10,000 before December the 25th. According to this model, we should hit it on December the 25th, but it actually will come in a little bit earlier here. Right now, we are ahead of the schedule by about a week. So that's kind of a nice place to be. But for those of you who are following this, there's something I kind of want to talk about when it comes to this. And this noise you're hearing in the background, if you're hearing some noise, that's me trying to put an ice pack on my thumb. It wouldn't be so bad if I wasn't right-handed, but I am, and it's like, oh my gosh, you don't realize how important your thumb is. Might be a small appendage in your body, but it's very important. You can't do anything without that, you know. Anyway, here's what I'm saying here on this one here, folks. We are heading into the final stages. All right, so watch for this thing. There's this There's this thing in psychology. It's a phenomenon called the gold gradient effect. In short, when the end is nigh, this is what they say, when the end is nigh or when the end is near, people are motivated to go faster. It's what compels bone-weary marathoners to sprint the home stretch. All right. This is what happens. It's what in the aviation world, you have to watch out for this thing. We call it get there-itis or get home-itis, or whatever it's called. Get there-itis. So what it is, you're throwing caution to the wind because you want to get where you're going faster. So you tend to, inadvertently perhaps relax some of the things that you're looking at, some of the controls, some of the things on your checklist, right? So make sure those of you who are in the last stretch of this challenge that you're still very careful that you don't have this gold gradient effect where as we get closer to it, we're only just a little over $1,000 away. All right. One thing you don't want to do is fall into a situation where you're going to suffer a major loss here. And this often will happen. So just got to be very careful. This is where you have to remain extra vigilant. Extra vigilant. In the early days, you can actually make it up if you had a loss. But right now, we don't have a lot of time. We're going to be putting a lot of money into the trades. And you want to make sure that you are extra careful with your trades on the challenge so that you're not going to blow it in the last few days. And if all goes well, we might even hit our target by like later this week, right? Might even hit our target. Now, we generally scalp these trades up, and we're going to see if the markets are we're running in our favor and we're on a roll. We might actually try and squeeze a little more, but again, I don't want to get to that get there-itis or that thing that we call the gold gradient effect. So I'm gonna have to be extra vigilant on this and just make sure we're right on target and don't get greedy, be modest, be humble, get those budgeted gains and wait for the next setup. All right, so any questions? Let's get to some questions here. Lots of questions. I'm gonna kind of go through some of these questions. Okay. Okay. Wow. Tons of questions here. All right. Let me go back to some of these comments in the beginning. Just be patient on this while I kind of go through some of these here. All right. Okay. Still learning. Last Friday, I lost on the morning, put later on the call. I'm still learning using Thinkorswim Simulator. I lost it all because I wasn't sure how to get in or get out, cancel or close contracts. Also, you mentioned on the pick of the day, we can let it ride overnight. Does that include weekends? Thanks. Appreciate what you do. Don, okay, thanks for your comment on that. Oh, okay, excuse me. All right, so good to use the pick of I think there's some simulator. By the way, one of the reasons that I noticed that some people lose on the simulator is because their data is 20 minutes delayed. If you are in delayed data mode on your simulator, please go and fund your account. Go and fund your account, and then you will get live data. If you are under a 20-minute delay, that is useless. In fact, it's worse than useless because you're trading on faulty data. You're trading on faulty data, and you don't want to do that. Okay, you don't want to do that. It's like if I'm flying my airplane and my instruments are giving me faulty data, that could spell disaster for me real quick if I happen to be relying on my instruments to make some judgment calls on what I'm going to do. All right. So if you are on simulated, you're getting 20. You can see it up at the top with Thinkorswim. You'll see it on the top. There's a bar there where it says real-time data or delay data. Get off the delay. It's rather you don't trade on the delayed data than to trade off that. You're going to get bad data. Okay, number one. Number two, if your order has not filled, you can always cancel. All right, cancel the order, not a problem. If it has filled and you want to reverse it, then what you do is the opposite. You opposite. Okay, so you'd close your trade, and get out. Now, one of the things that I noticed that helps me with my overall success is that sometimes I have to exercise some real patience and understand that markets do not move in straight lines. They don't go straight up or straight down. So if you happen to be in a call, which is an option that if you expect the stock to go up, you buy a call option. If you expect the stock to go down, you buy a put option. You don't sell anything. The way we trade, all right, you buy first and then you sell. All right. Sometimes people get confused about that. They think if it's going down, you're going to sell. Don't sell anything first. Never sell anything first the way we trade. Always buy first. And I'll show you this after in the other segment, the primer. Why? Anyway, buy first, then sell. But sometimes you have to be patient and look at longer term charts or longer term factors that are going to affect the market. For example, news. So sometimes, actually very often, markets will go up, and then after a big run up, there'll be a reversal. It'll come back down, probably bounce off some support level, and then continue on up. So you may be exiting too early, or you may be getting in too late. Now, I know you don't probably know that, but with the now, Don, I don't know if you are in our trading room at all, but in our trading room, this is what we look at. We pull up those indicators that we discuss, and we look at the bounces off of those indicators, and that's when I like to get back up. I also like to get into a trade to the upside or to the downside, but I want to make sure there's enough what I call runway. I want to make sure that this baby can land. In other words, if I buy it, I want to make sure there's enough room to grow into, right, before I exit the trade. Let's say I'm looking for a 5% profit on my trade, as an example, and I'm going to the upside. Well, I'm going to want to make sure that there's ample room for the stock to grow into. In other words, if let's say I bought something for $2, if I'm looking for 5%, so I'm looking for 10 cents. And at the money option will be generally about a 50 delta, which means that the stock has to move $1 for the option to move 50 cents. So if I want the stock, or rather the option, to move the 10 cents, which would be that 5%, I hope you're with me in following this, I would have to divide that movement of 10 cents that I need by the delta, which is 0.5. 10 divided by 0.5 is 20. That means I have to have the stock move 20 cents for me to get my 5% on the option. So I have to check to see, is it reasonable to expect the stock to move that 20 cents? Is there major resistance at 12 cents that I'm going to have to bust through to go further up? If there's some major resistance and it starts bouncing back down, I could be in trouble. So either I don't take that trade, or I wait for a better entry, or I wait until, or I'm just happy with a 2 or 3 or 4% gain instead of a 5% or whatever that number works out to. So I hope that kind of makes sense. You might have to go through the recording and sort of play this out again to see what it is. So anyway, I hope that kind of makes sense. All right, next question here. Joan, did the market return to come close to the 461? I could not get out of the 5% gain, or even at 461. It seems that trading weeklies on the last is very risky. I need to know more information on that, Joan, to be able to comment on what happened there. Doug, okay. I don't know whether I got your email, Doug, or not. Doug W. I'll have to take a look and see. All right. Okay. You. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for doing this weekend. Thank you, Tia. Always informative, enjoyable for me and others. I love this girl. She's always so complimentary, This is why we do this, folks. We like the people here. I feel you. I'll be 60. Herb, thank you. I'll be 69 February 24th. Yeah. I'm gonna beat you by about a month. My birthday is January 22nd. So Herb, you're in line for a month later. Folks, a lot of questions coming in concerning what happened in this week. And we actually had some interesting activity this week. Aaron and I, we negotiate between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. We discuss the events that are going to shape the market coming up. We send out the pick of the day. We have a lot of back and forth with things the way we see them. Aaron has his set of indicators. I have my set of indicators. One of the key indicators that we had working on with us this week was a major resistance levels as we kept looking at where the market was going to go. Now this here, and I'm showing you, is an hourly chart. Charts courtesy, by the way, of TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim. This was a chart of the last few days. I'm just kind of throwing this out there the last couple of weeks as to the way the market went. You can see these huge swings, huge multi-point swings. In some cases, some of these swings went up 6, 7, 8 points. Okay. Within a couple of days, we'd see some of these markets moving from 459.5 down to 454, a $5 swing. Here's one from 454.5 up to 460. We're getting these $6, $7 swings, huge swings. But they were testing this resistance level, and we are now at a point with that resistance that we have not seen in 1 3/4 years. I believe since March 2022. All right, which is not quite 2 years. We're about three months, a little bit more, perhaps 3 months shy of 2 years that we haven't seen these highs. This is amazing. Now we did test it several times, and it looks like we keep testing it. We drop back down and we keep testing it. That yellow line going across and sloping to the upside, that's actually a linear regression line, kind of like an average line. So on Friday, we ended up there at what, 460.59. 460. I don't know where the stock is right now. I don't have it up. Let me just see if I can actually maybe find it. Do I have this? No, I don't. I don't want to. No, I don't have it handy. Okay, it's okay. But I am of the opinion that after a big run up that we have seen here in the last couple of days, we may see a retracement. We may see retracement, especially depending on the news that's coming out. We have some major news items, PPI reports, it's the inflationary reports that are going to be influencing the Fed's decision on rates. Even though the Feds may hold the rates, no doubt they're going to be issuing some warnings, if you will, that if inflation does continue to the upside, they're going to have to, implement some strategies to bring inflation down. Just by making those comments, you often see the stock dropping like a lot. So my opinion is, in the next couple of days, we'll probably see this pull back, quite possibly to 57, maybe to 54, 56, 457. Depends on where the support kicks in, and we'll see what happens. We are going to actually ask Aaron for his longer term views because he uses different indicators than I do. He's pretty heavy in with the Andrews pitchfork and Fibonacci and all of that. So we're gonna wait and see what he does that. Okay, so I want to throw that out there for you, right? Let me get back to some other questions, and hopefully that will answer some of the questions that I've got up on the board here. All right.
Are you putting me on the spot, Hugh?
There you are. Hello, stranger. Yes, we're blaming everything on you, Aaron. How are you?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Yeah, just out with the family for some holiday interactions. Yeah, just very busy day today.
Well, good to have you on here. Just talking about how you have your set of indicators, I have my set of indicators, and according to my indicators, I could see how the market could pull back here, a bit of a retracement.
Yeah.
Just with the wild swings that we've been experiencing.
Yes.
And maybe you can give us some insight.
Yeah, I don't know if you want me to share my screen or not. That's really up to you.
Can we do that? Are you ready? We could do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right.
Let me see if I can
Oh,
post it real quick.
Now, all right, I'm gonna hand this over to Aaron, but before I give you total control, folks, don't get intimidated by what you see here. He is very technically inclined, and if you're not understanding, I know there are a lot of new people in here don't understand the technical. Don't worry about the technical stuff. Just stay the few minutes until Aaron finishes. What you're not gonna miss anything if you don't totally understand all this. So anyway,
Sure.
all yours, Aaron.
Sure, of course, yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to go over something very basic, very, very basic here. And you probably mentioned it earlier, but this is actually a 4-hour chart. But zooming out into the daily chart, we're near major resistance up here at that 462 level. It goes all the way back to March of 2022. Before that, we had a double top there at February 2022, and then a drop. So it creeped above here a little bit, and then it dropped. Now this formation is looking a little bit to me like a reversal of this formation. If you flip this formation upside down, it looks to me a lot like this formation. So you may see a poke above, but then a pullback, and I think that's what it's doing personally. There's a couple of things that I said that we had identified for major resistance. The first is that there's a daily Fibonacci resistance point up here at the 161.8. It's gone through that. So usually when that happens, it goes to the 200. But when you zoom in, we have a couple of things. We have this resistance zone. So if anybody's still in calls, I would like to see what happens tomorrow and Tuesday, and even into Wednesday, to see if the Fed's news is going to bring it down or push it up. If you don't want to wait that long, or maybe you sold your puts on Friday, wait for a signal for a breakdown. There's a lot of back and forth up here. We had external retracements as well that were pointing to that 456 level as a possible drop. So that was the context of that. Zooming in on the 4-hour, and sorry if I'm talking too fast, but let's point this one by one. Okay, we have an ABCD pattern here. We have a ABCD pattern, so this would be. Let me see if I can get my marker here. This is a 4-hour chart, guys. So actually, hold on a second. A, B, C. This is your ABC, and then zooming in on the 1-hour, even you have 1, 2, 3, 4 times it hit that 50%. It's a quartile that's out here instead of the warning line 1. So we're at the top of Andrew's pitchfork sliding parallel here. So my question to myself, as far as context go, is this a 3 drives to the top formation, or is it going to be a continuation to the upside? So that's what we want to see tomorrow and into Tuesday even. See if there's any type of sell-off up here before there's a possible Santa rally. Or is this a Santa rally in and of itself? The reason why we were looking at the puts up here is because it looked to me like it could be a possible head and double shoulders formation. When this came in, it engulfed everything and shot up. So right now, if you take just the previous swing from this low to this, well, actually, we should do something closer. Possibly this swing low to this high. Let's see if there's a Fibonacci pattern anywhere in here that we could possibly anchor off of. Just a 382 to 127. I'm more inclined to think of this as a possible resistance and an overextension. Zooming out, I also want to look at the cycles. I know that might be a little too much for some of you guys to think about, but we did have a cycle low. So this high to low, that it caught the cycle low and near the cycle low here. We may be near a cycle low on cycle high on Tuesday. I don't really talk about cycles too much. It's something I'm getting more and more into, but that's also a possibility. So I would think, okay, possibility for a cycle high on Tuesday. Could it be a break extension, or a what's it called? My mind isn't totally there, but exhaustion, blow off top, could that be it? Or is this thing going to keep on going? Eventually, somewhere, sometime, this is going to have to come into play. These gaps down here, somewhere, sometime this is going to have to come into play. Now, is that going to be sooner than later? Well, if anywhere up here is the top, you're going to see the 382 challenged at some point. So if it's here or slightly higher, or even slightly higher up here, the 382 is going to come into play, that 443, 442 area. But I know that's if you're stuck in puts, it's not what you want to hear. You want to see a breakdown. I would say Monday to Tuesday. If it's not broken down, after Tuesday, if you want to hold into Wednesday, that's up to you. If you want to try to get in, but this thing's a rocket ship that we thought could possibly turn up near this resistance, and unfortunately, it just didn't. We even had something like this as a possibility for a extension, something like this, and it did start to top out up here nicely on this formation, but it just didn't continue. So it didn't continue on the 7th. It shot up, and this gap is still open. So we do have this open gap here as well between in this zone here. So 456.75 to 455. This is an open gap. Eventually, I would assume that that's going to be filled similar to how this gap was filled. Price shot up right into that gap and reversed. So I wouldn't be surprised if price broke down somewhere, came right into this gap, and either reversed or continued to break down, and gave some life back to the puts, or to the short sellers. But it is difficult, but if you're holding the puts, think about your options for the next couple of days, and we'll do our best as usual to predict what we think that the market's going to do and predict the future.
I liken it to an elastic band, You can only stretch it so far, and then it's going to snap back.
Mm-hmm.
When I see that happening there, and by the way, if it snaps back into that box that you've drawn in there, that could keep going, right?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on. I'll just label this as open gap. It depends on what the news is, but there's an open gap right down here. So you probably went over the coming news announcements for the week, and I'll come back to that 4-hour chart. But it comes back to what the news announcements are for the rest of the week. And looking back, I just want to see if there's anything Fibonacci wise that we could take this to. 460. I mean, this is a 50% to a 161.8%. So this up here could be strong resistance off of this rally. This is a 50% measured move. I mean, this back here is basically a measured move from this low to high. And if it does come into play, that would be, well, actually not 160, it's 461.69. So if it does come into play, that might be an area where you could see some resistance, 461.69. It's a little bit past the symmetrical extension, but it's right. We're almost right exactly near that 161.8. Let me see as far as cycles or time-wise, if we can see anything that may be of importance. But it called that top, but it called this bottom, but I don't see anything close. It'd probably be more towards the end of the month, beginning of January for this particular cycle. But as far as Fibonacci extension goes, we're right there, folks. We're really right there. If you start to see some heavy selling in tomorrow or into Tuesday at that 461.69 level, it's all these people that got long down here on this bar. And let me zoom in on that on a daily chart. Actually, hold on. Let me switch back and show that my visibility here. Days, there we go. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of people that got long. So I'm showing volume. I don't really usually talk about volume much on the free stuff that we do, but there's a lot of volume down here. A lot of volume pushes up. A lot of buyers in here on the March of 2023. So if you start to see some heavy volume up here near that 461.69 and start to see some downward momentum pressure, that would indicate that these people could be exiting their position and trying to establish a new possibility for a trend to the downside. Also, this up here, let me see if that's a 786. No, we're a little bit past the 786, but we're near previous resistance there. So I'd be interested to see what happens. I'll be putting it as far as an alert. If anybody knows how to do alerts, or if you have TradingView, you can right click and put add alert on SPY at 460.85 or 460.75. I'd be interested in 460.75. I'd be interested in having an alert up there. See if there's any sellers up there. Because if there is, that could be a trend direction change, at least momentarily into the midpoint of December, and then you could see a Santa rally for a few days to close out a positive year. So
I think at this point, if I was in a trade, I'd probably want to be in a put trade, to be honest with you right now. Like
well, I mean, yeah, there's a couple of things that you have going for you if you want to if you're in a put trade and you're wanting to hold a little bit. You're at that resistance point. You're near that you're near that extension area.
Yep.
And you're near the Fibonacci completion, you know. So, and I think we showed this bigger fork before, but that's not really showing much at the moment. So at least not on this. It may show something on the futures because it's a little bit more liquid. But for right now, we're near major resistance. See what it does up in here. If it breaks much higher, if it goes to 463, 464, up to here 465, obviously it's on a breakout, it's on a tear, but we're near major resistance. So keep that in mind as far as context goes.
What kind of time frame are you looking at here for that reversal?
If it does reverse, I would say Monday, Tuesday, you might see some movement to the downside. Definitely, I think isn't there a Fed meetings minutes coming out on Wednesday?
Sure is. Yep.
Yeah. So see what happens the next 2 days. Fear may come into the market. You may start to see some of that filling in the gap right here. Depending if you see just a continued straight up run, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4 times you've hit this upper sliding parallel here. I'm going to mark it a little bit more clear. But it's temporary resistance at the moment on a diagonal space and time basis. So you have it's like three question mark. That's my question. I mean, this run up is just a tear. It's just really just a flight. It's a rocket ship. And so when you're up here near resistance, we took a chance on the puts and we thought it could possibly turn down a little bit, get us out for 60%. But the news came out and whiplashed. And right now we're trying to see, okay, if some of these cycles that we talked about are going to come into play, as well as resistance and extension for the Fibonacci.
Well, we do have some news coming out on Tuesday and Wednesday, and inflation news. So I think there is going to be some nervousness coming into the market.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday is when they report some numbers as well Wednesday morning. So we could actually see something coming in there. And as a matter of fact, I just pulled up Thinkorswim right now. The futures are currently down $1.50 for the S&P. Nasdaq is down $32.
Yeah,
it's up only $10. Nothing really, but I mean, this can change. This can change in a heartbeat. It doesn't mean anything really when I say this, but I think there's going to be some pressure to the downside the next couple of days. So it's anybody sitting in puts. So
yeah, and this is a contract rollover. So usually when that happens, you'll start to see a push back down into this area. to fill in some of the liquidity from the contract rollover. So that's about 70 points to the downside. Yeah, so that could possibly come into play as well.
Sounds good.
Back to you, Hugh. I got a visitor here.
No, okay, no problem.
My 5-year-old daughter.
Oh, good to have her say hi to her for us. All right, we are going to share the screen again and get back to what we are doing. So thank you for chiming in on that and supporting what I said. So that's good to see that. All right, let's get back to the fireside chat. Guys, okay if we go a little extra overtime here today? I hope I don't take too much of your time or anything, but I'm going to just let me just see here what. Okay, I think my computer may have frozen up a little bit here. What's going on? Any other questions? Okay. I actually have. Okay, why is my computer freezing up on me? I can't kind of get out of this PowerPoint. Okay, hang on. All right, I want to talk to you a little bit about the trading room, and I do want to get back to some other questions as well. All right, so what Aaron just described, we go into detail on that and so many other things in the trading room every day. If you are not in the trading room, I don't know what what we can do, because that's really the training. That's where we do a lot of our training every morning, 9:20 to 10 o'clock. We look at the news, we look at fundamentals, we look at technicals, we look at everything that is going to determine where the stock should go today. Now we look at everything that we know, and we have a lot of experience in this. Between Aaron and I, we've got over 40 years of market participation, and it's really good to learn from some experienced people. So we do this. These are not drop-in centers, the trading room sessions. These are not coffee club sessions. These are actually events where you are expected to learn what we do and get some benefit out of this, right? This is where strategies come alive. We discuss our strategies every morning, 9:20 to 10:30. So we don't monopolize your whole day. You can get on with your day by mid-morning. Learn and earn from the best. These are interactive sessions, exciting trading. You can interact with Aaron and myself through the chat box. Privacy is assured. Go ahead and ask whatever questions you want. There's no such thing as a dumb question. So we do, answer your questions and comments. And we've been around the block. We know what we're talking about when it comes to this. We teach what we trade, and we trade what we teach. So we're not giving you all kinds of superfluous stuff. We're not giving you fluff. We're not giving you things that don't matter. What we're doing is we're giving you information that we use ourselves every day to trade. And you can actually watch us make some real trades and using real setups, real money. If you have any questions, you get them answered in real time. We have the longest running trading room since 2010 that I know of. All right. So I think it's really important that I tell you about this. And folks, you cannot afford not to subscribe. I think for $6.99 for a 3-month stint, that is a deal. That is a value that, I mean, you know what it's like to lose money on the stock market. It doesn't take much to lose $700 over 3 months. Okay. So that works out to approximately, I think it's like a half a Subway sandwich a day for one of us. Aaron and I don't even both get to eat from what you pay for this. I think one of us gets to eat. But anyway, so I would highly suggest that you subscribe to this. Now you might want to know, well, how do I subscribe, Hugh? Well, I think at the end of this session, you should get a URL pop up on your screen. But if not, you might want to just go to our website, DayTradeSPY, and you can actually subscribe right here. You can get to it in 2 different ways. You can subscribe here, scroll down to the trading room, or you can go up to the top here. It says trading room, subscribe now. You'll find it there. Just go down there, subscribe, go through all of this verbiage that they have up here. Go to right down to the bottom where it talks about, well, it gets it there. It is, right? Place your order. This is what I like. 3 months, $6.99. You can't go wrong with that. Place your order right there and be online tomorrow morning if you if you subscribe now. I do want to get to some other questions too before I kind of leave this segment here, because I know there's a lot of questions here. Somebody was asking here earlier here, detail how you suggest we enter the SPY trades. I'm not really sure. Is the market open at the market before the opening? You can only buy options, folks, with the market open, which opens the options market opens at 9:30. You can't get in there before, and always use limit orders. Don't use market orders. Market orders are negotiated prices. You can actually end up buying for more than, if you use a market order, you can actually end up buying for more than what it's really worth, or sell it for less than what it's worth. So I like to use limit orders all the time, both buying and selling. Okay. And if for example, the pick of the day, it suggests that you buy, the rule is that you buy at market open. So the pick of the day is anchored in time. So you buy it at the market open, but wait for the bid-ask spread to settle in nice and tight, usually just a few seconds within a 2-3 cent spread. And this actually is very important, especially if there's a huge gap from the prior day's close. You can actually see a huge gap in the option if the prior day's gap is large from yesterday's close. So you want to wait until your bid-ask spread to settle in nice and tight, so you actually have a pretty solid price. Now the other thing is this: if the pick is, say, a call option, but on the 1 minute candle you're seeing a lot of red coming in, red, wait until the red turns around and you see the pressure back to the upside, then get in, because that's really where you're going to get it for a little bit cheaper. Let's get out of this one here. You'll get it for a little bit cheaper. Okay. So I think that's really important. All right. Okay. Question. Well, in Zoom currently, the DayTradeSPY website is blocked just like it is during the trading room. Is this a question, Rich? I'm not familiar that is blocked. Shouldn't be blocked. Rich, I think you are in the trading room, so this probably doesn't apply to you, but I don't know why. I think if your program is blocking our website at all, you might want to check your firewall. There's some issue with your firewall, and you might want to change whatever the setting is on that one. I believe that would be the issue there. All right, thanks for the tips on that, Ralph. Aaron, you missed the early part, Aaron, when I was talking about how I don't know what happened. My right finger, my thumb is injured. I don't know if it's sprained or broken or what, but I got to get this looked after tomorrow, and it's just killing me. I can't move it. It's painful. And anyway, all right. So let's.
Oh yeah, I saw your
Oh.
I saw your message. That's unfortunate. I think maybe you should hold off on those guitar solos.
Oh gosh, you know what? That whole Stairway to Heaven thing, it's now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That, and that, what was that? The Johnny Be Good, you have
Oh.
to hold off on those guitar solos.
Yeah, I know. All right. Okay, play of the day. Can you send an email, one example? Do you get an option, call or put with exact price to buy? Question about, okay, so when you get the pick of the day or the signal or whatever, it says to buy it, and when you get the signal or the pick of the day. And people are asking, well, what price do we buy it at? Well, we don't know what the price is. At 9 o'clock in the morning, when we send out a pick that says buy it at 9:30, we have no idea what that price is going to be. Could be $2, could be $3.75, it could be $1.50. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Buy it for whatever the price is, because you're going to sell it. So if you're concerned that it's too expensive, and let's say you only have $2,000 you're going to invest in a trade, but rather than maybe spending buying 10 contracts, maybe buy 2 or 3 contracts. Doesn't matter, because you're going to get that premium back when you sell it anyway, right? So, and plus you'll get a little cheaper commission if you're buying fewer contracts. So we can't tell you what the price is going to be. Nobody knows what the price is going to be yet. All right, moving along here. We have people from all over the place here on tonight, Aaron. This is amazing. All right.
Yeah, it's probably one of the highest turnouts that I've seen in quite a bit. But I think I think they're coming back for you more, Hugh. I mean, you're ramping up the numbers. I mean, this is full signal, full bandwidth, full strength from the radio tower right here.
we're burning up the bandwidth here, and we're burning it. But I think they're
Burning
all,
the midnight oil.
to talk to you, and people want to see what they look like. So I think we're gonna have to get a, a little bit better than just, video of you, not just a photo. Uh, so we're gonna have to work on that. So.
I'm in my secret laboratory here.
Okay, and yes, this session is recorded. The recording will be available on the website probably by tomorrow.
It's
Uh,
also on YouTube. Are we streaming to YouTube tonight?
it's not, yeah, it's not picking up on YouTube. So we had an issue last week on YouTube, and we have an issue this week on YouTube.
Huh.
So I don't know if our YouTube guy is asleep at the switch, but it will eventually be put on YouTube. So you will see the recording on YouTube as well. It's
I think you know what I think. I think Google is asleep at the wheel.
maybe it's Google. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's Google or
I think Google's asleep at the wheel. I think you have to call Larry Page, one of the founders of Google, and I think he'll have to be the contact guy from now on. He'll get it fixed, I think.
yeah. We'll get you his phone number. Good luck with that. Some more questions here. You guys okay if we stay a little longer? Okay. Can you post your results over the last year on the website? No. No. We can't. Okay. So every day as an inner circle member, you get our updates as to what we did. So we post everything that we did. We did the OMG trade, which is short for out of the morning gate, any scalps that we had done, signal trades, if there was one, the pick of the day, any other trades that we had done. We post those there. We don't go back a year. Long time ago, we used to do that. And it served no meaningful value. All right. It served no meaningful value. I don't know what the value would be on there. Our success rate is very, very good. I would even put it at excellent. I would put it, Aaron, at I don't know what A plus would be, but we're at a like 96+%. And just because we have a success doesn't mean you're gonna have success. And just because we might not have as much success doesn't mean you're not going to have as much success, because we all have different capitalizations, different risk tolerances, different understandings of the system that we do. Don't forget, we've been doing this a long time. A lot of you are just kind of new at it, and even a different understanding of the market, of the interpretation of the market at the moment. I could show you a chart and say, is it going up or down or straight across? And you could say, well, on the 1 minute candle right now, at this particular moment in time, it's going up. But if I go back 10 minutes, we're on a downstroke, right? So I mean, there's a lot of factors that go in. So that unfortunately is the answer is no on that, Ron. But I hope you understand the reasoning. But if you stay with us, you'll see that our success is actually phenomenal. I won't call it phenomenal. That's not phenomenal. That's just
Well, it's also something, Hugh, that you mentioned as well. We're trying to teach people how to fish, and not just fish with us and look over our shoulder. We want you to, not saying you have to graduate from us, but we want you to be able to look at the market through your own eyes and be consistent traders as well. Not necessarily, I mean, especially if you're in the trading room, we want you to be able to read the market and study it and understand it like us, so you can get those winning trades. I mean, we have many students that have gone on to just trading by themselves, and then they come back after a while because they miss being with DayTradeSPY, because trading is a lonely thing. We have people that continue with us after their profitable trading, just for knowing what they want to see, what we think. They want to see if they see something similar that we do. Yeah. And then place their own trades and make their own decisions. We have some traders that don't even trade far out of the money options. Some of our traders trade 0 day to expiration, and they're killing it in the markets. They just want to know what we think as far as direction goes. So there's a lot of different types of personalities in the trading room. There's a lot of different styles of how to trade the SPY. I would consider it just as much as there's, personalities in a class. Sorry, that's my thought. Personalities in the classroom.
Oh, yeah.
So
I got a question here. Is there any way to fix losing trades? The answer is yes, there is. And I'm going to put a recommendation on there for that. We actually have, what did I do here? We actually have a module in our online workshops, and that's this right here. If you go to the website DayTradeSPY on online workshops, it's one of those secret things that's kind of hidden away. But go up to the top right, online workshops, and there's a segment here, repairing trades gone bad, repairing bad trades workshop. This is it right here. Get it, it's $249, money well spent, learn how to protect your money in losing positions, and how to repair losing trades. I think it's really important that everybody actually learns that. And that's actually really important because every now and then you're going to get into a spot where you're in a losing trade. So, all right, Raj, I looked at the numbers you put up on the screen. Seems on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you closed your position for less than 6%, right? I don't know what those positions were. Some were, it might have been a scalp for a few cents. Some could have been, it's whatever it was. So we have different strategies, different goals, different targets. In our inner circle updates, we actually have, we talk about each strategy that we had done that day, and that's what it is that we close. Let's see how the scalp worked out on Friday. I don't know if you were on the Brian. Sorry, I don't remember offhand. I believe the scalp Friday, that was the 18th, right? No, the 8th, I should say. The scalp worked out fine, went from 307 to 320, from 10:07 in the morning to 10:11. 13-cent gain on that one here. All right, question. Do you think by Wednesday there's a possibility that SPY may drop to 456? As I have a call with a strike at 457. I don't know. I'd have to wait. I think you're going to see some movement simply because of the was it CPI reports, PPI, whatever the numbers are going to be coming out. There's going to be some movement.
Can I show something too, real quick? If I could just show my screen on one chart real quick, because I had to. Somebody even wrote into me, if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
They wrote into an email, and so this is a weekly chart here, folks, of the SPY, and so we're kind of in this upward sloping. I call them all action reaction sets, but look at where we're at on a weekly time frame. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks up, and we're coming kind of towards the top of this sine wave. If you think of things like a sine wave, right? Yeah, I'll fix it. If we think of things like a sine wave, let me see if I can pull it up here. The market is a sine wave. Let me see if I can draw it like this. We're kind of getting towards, if not within the, a week or so, we're right at that top. We're right near that top on the weekly trend line there. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When have you had six bars this big straight up? It's not really common. So I would anticipate, at least, I'm not saying we're going to have a down week. I'm just saying I would anticipate at some point that especially on the weekly chart, that this is either going to have a bar similar to like a doji or a downward, something bigger like this, especially being that close near resistance there. So
yeah, I think that's a good point. Good point.
There you go.
Okay, I'll bring it back here. Share screen. Good session here tonight. I hope you guys don't mind us going a little overtime here tonight. All right, let's get back to some of these questions here. I like to answer a lot of questions because I know there are a lot of people online and you have all questions and stuff. Question here from Charles. Do you know when in the day that you will not send a signal? Doesn't work that way. It's when you get the signal, you get it. If you don't get the signal, it just means there hasn't been a signal sent. And the signals could be anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week. It could even be twice a day. I don't know. So just kind of stay with it. Have your cell ready or be on the computer. Usually it'll be in the morning, I'm guessing. It's whenever the algorithms line up, and that's when you're going to be hit with the signal. Right. So there's another question up on the board here. I had I'm just kind of scrolling through these pretty good here. What time frame are you trading on? Okay, I like to look at the longer term charts. I look at news. I look at longer term things. I talk to Aaron. I do my analysis on the 5-minute chart, but I trigger on the 1. I like to trigger on the 1. So as soon as that thing hits on the 1, bang, I'm in. Make the decision, do it, get in, get out, make your money, get on with the rest of your day. Somebody here averaged down and he made some pretty good money, more than his target. Congratulations on that. Good to see that. Okay, some people took a loss. The question, if you can hold overnight, should you hold overnight? Well, the pick of the day can hold overnight. The signal, the idea there is to get out at the end of the day if you have not hit your 5% target. Okay, so a question how that one's doing. I don't have the numbers on that. I think we had 7 or 8 winners, and I think one loser, a minor loss that was at the end of the day. You have to take that. And T is saying here, thanks, Aaron, for showing your charts. I'm starting to understand your charts better. Appreciate you taking the time to show them to us every day. Cool. Thank you very much for covering that. A lot of people, Aaron. Thank you so much for joining in. Tatiana, hello, I'm new. Started a few days ago. My important question is loss management. Risk tolerance is not very high. Prefer to lose less. I don't know when to take a loss, when to hold. What are the different ways strategies look at loss management, how the loss should be determined. That's some pretty heavy stuff, Tatiana. So what the thing to do there is get into the trading room. We'll talk about money management techniques. We'll ramp that up, I think. I would suggest that, first of all, if you are new to this, paper trade. I suggest 30 paper trades. Aaron says go to 100. Paper trade a lot. Get really good with the mechanics and understand the market. Get the feel for the market really well so that, you're not surprised when anything should happen. And then transition to real money starting slow, low and slow. All right. And just with, small, maybe $1,000 or something. Few contracts. All right. Don't go crazy. Don't go for huge percentages or anything like that. Just kind of gradually build it up. But then there are loss management techniques that we employ. This is not the session to get into that. Again, I'm going to defer you into the trading room for all that. So, another sure thing here is helpful when you and Aaron agree in the trading room. It's always very helpful for me and others as we learn a lot in the trading room. Thank you for that. So, okay, there's a lot of questions. We can spend all night here just answering these questions here. How does the trading room interplay with the pick of the day or signal? Will the trading room replace these services? The answer is no. So the pick of the day and the signal are separate subscriptions from the trading room. Those are where we give you a fish to eat, and you can go ahead, cook it up if you want. In the trading room, we give you a fishing pole. We're going to teach you how to fish in the trading room. So whatever you want to do. Some people just want to be given the fish. Other people want to learn how to trade it. So we're going to be I'm going to be teaching you all that. So right, same day expirations. I don't really like to use same day expirations. Not to say I never do, but they're higher risk for sure, and you could get burned on those if and when the stock goes against you. Right, DayTradeSPY firewalls blocking me. I sent a screenshot to info DayTradeSPY. I don't know if we can help you on that. That's something to do with your provider or your firewall. You gotta kind of figure out your firewall on that. And there's a comment here from James. Rich's problem could be the internet service provider. He had the same problem with another website, and it was his ISP blocking him. Oh my gosh! If there's an ISP blocking us, I want to know about it. All right, the recording will be on YouTube later and also on our website, DayTradeSPY. All right, we're going to go on and on here. Okay. When you say success rate is 96%, is that a rate of 96% with a gain of 6% or say 5%? I think it's one thing to say success rate is 96% or another to say that a success rate is 96% with 5 or 6 gains. Would you agree? Okay, so when I say success rate, what I'm talking about is the success based on our target price. So in other words, if a scalp, we're only going for say 6 cents or 7 cents, and we hit that target of 6 or 7 cents, that is a success. If we're looking for pick of the day with a 6% profit target and we hit it, that 6% is the profit target. That would be a success. If we hit 5.9% on the pick of the day, that is not a success. Okay. Same with the 5%. Okay. So those are the things that we're talking about. All right. Is the challenge trade part of the trading room? Yes. Okay. So the 10K challenge is part of the trading room. You want to get in on that. And we do that every morning. So, right. Yeah. All right. Okay. We're going to wrap it up here. Thanks a million, Hugh. Hope your health challenges are all behind you. Thanks for that, Bill. Just many thanks out to Aaron. You guys are great. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap this section, this part up. Actually, once again, let's go back to the trading room. I just want to mention again, the trading room, if you're not in it, you really should be, because I think that's really where a lot of value is. We teach this, we go over all this stuff every day, every day. We talk a lot about this 9:20 to 10:30 Eastern, and for only $6.99 every 3 months. Um, I can't make it any more enticing, folks. You get the benefit of Aaron and myself, 40 plus years of mentorship right there. And with that, I think we're going to wrap it up. So those of you who are new to trading, new to options, new to Day Trade Spy, stick around in about a minute. We're going to go over an options primer for the next 10, 15 minutes. Been a pleasure. Thank you, Aaron. All right, so what we're going to do now is go back to, all right, people still online? Oh my gosh, if you are new to options, all right, I'll tell you what they are. Options, they're actually contracts. All right, you're not buying the stock itself. An option is an instrument that is based on an underlying stock. That stock that we have determined to be the stock of choice is SPY. SPY follows the top 500 stocks. Okay, very important. All right, a contract that gives the options holder the right, but not the obligation to trade the underlying stock for a certain price by a certain date. You only have to know two names. You're going to get to know these names like they're your kids. If you expect the stock to rise, you buy a call option. If you expect it to drop, you buy a put option. Call up, put down. Funny names, I know, but that's what it is. Options have strike prices attached to them. This is the set price at which the stock can be bought or sold when it is exercised. And you can actually call your broker and say, I would like to exercise my option. And what they're going to do is they're going to take the money out of your account and take your option and give you the stock instead. So for every option that you hold, they're going to give you 100 underlying shares valued at the strike price. And of course, they will loan you the money to buy half of, or whatever you're set up with, of the value of the stock. So let's say you have one option, and the stock is valued at, say, $450. Well, that's 450,000. That's what's that? $45,000. $45,000 of stock you're going to get. So what happens is they're going to take 22,500 out of your account and lend you the other 22,500 at whatever the interest rate is. You see, one thing that people don't realize is that brokers make their money on commission, but they really make their money on lending you money to buy the stock. That's actually what they really make most of their money on. All right, there's still lots of stock traders out there, so they love to lend money on the stock. All right, so we don't care about exercising our options. We don't want to exercise it. We just want to trade the option. By trading the option, we get the leverage, we get all the benefits of options trading, okay? Including, the inexpensive way of getting into this game. I don't know about you, but I don't really want to put in $45,000 just to have 100 shares of SPY and I'll show you the comparison in a couple of minutes here, but it doesn't work for me. But options, they have expiration dates. This is the end date at which the contract expires. They don't last forever. All right, so there's some real pros and cons. Pros, flexibility. Options trading has a lot of different strategies that you can invoke here and employ. And one thing you want to do is if you're going to follow our system, you really need to follow it. By that, I mean you need to buy first and then sell. Do not sell first and then buy, because you could put yourself in a very precarious position. If you don't have the money to pony up on a trade, because let's say it goes against you and you get a margin call, they're going to say, well, we need X dollars in your account by tomorrow afternoon, or we're going to, liquidate your account. And it's not a joke. They do. I've seen that happen, a number of times, and it's very unsettling. And it's not a fun place to be. So make sure you always buy first, then you sell. Use the cash account. You don't need a margin account for what we do. Easier to get, You only trade what's in your cash account. And also you're able to not worry about the $25,000 rule when you're in a cash account. Cost efficient, huge leverage on options. Usually you don't need 45,000. You can actually control 100 underlying shares for just a few $100s, couple $100s. High return potential, many strategies available. I like it because it's fun, exciting trading. There are some cons to options trading. There's this thing called the time decay. That's that data loss. There are commissions. You do have to pay commissions, and it can be risky trading. Most options traders are out of the business within a year because they blow up their accounts. All right. I hear 90%, 95%, 98%. The number is very high. And while there are no guarantees with options trading, there is one guarantee, and that is that you will lose your money if you do not know what you're doing with options. That is an ironclad guarantee. Make sure that you understand options before you jump into this game. All right. We day trade SPY options. That's all we do, period. Nothing else. SPY. It's the highest traded stock out there. It's affordable, very liquid. You can throw a lot of money at this and you're going to get filled. You don't have to worry about liquidity issues at all. I like it. It's exciting trading. I'm just as excited today trading this as I ever was, which is really unusual because after 14, 15, 20 years of doing this, I'm still excited about doing it. Huge profit potential. There's something really kind of cool about being able to say, hey, I beat the market today. I beat the market today. And every day I beat the market. It's just kind of exciting. Maybe it's some little quirky thing on my part, but it is what it is. All right, real quick here. I got to tell you, one stock, one strategy, 1 hour a day. Over the years, we kind of figured out what works and what doesn't work in both trading and training. And that's what we do. All right, that's what we do. So let's move along here. I'm going to give you a quick comparison, but first, why SPY now? Why now? Follows the top 500 stocks in the U.S. Efficient use of analysis time. Folks, I get up at around 8:30 in the morning in front of my computer. I can generally tell within a very short period of time where SPY is going to go. I don't have to do all this hours of pre-market analysis and sectors and stocks and different things and all this. I can just look at the markets, fundamental news, this sort of thing, and we can usually understand where the markets are going to go. The moves are quick. Usually within a few minutes, we can get our trades, get in and out right away. Fairly reliable, consistent, predictive, even forgiving. All right. Now, with that, there is the disclaimer, of course, and prices can be anticipated in any market. You can make money both going up or down with SPY. I think that's really, really important. All right. SPY, why not? Folks, learn something new. Stay mentally sharp every day. Earn while you learn. Time passes anyway. You can make money along the way. Huge, huge profit potential for serious traders. You can actually be in this thing for a couple hours and walk away with, an amazing bucket of cash at the end of the session if you just pay attention. That's all, is just paying attention. You can actually achieve that dream lifestyle. It's not that far away as an options trader. If you're good, you're serious, you learn it. It's exciting, thrilling to beat the market, as I mentioned, and you can also pass this knowledge on to your kids for financial security. My kids know how to trade, and there's nothing more liberating or comforting for me knowing that I don't have to worry about them, financially speaking. They know how to trade. So if they run into some situation, they want some money, they want to buy a new car, say, don't come to me, go get the money. You know what to do. You know what to do. I know some people, you know what they do? They bought their kids for Christmas. Wow. They bought their kids for Christmas a trading platform on whether it's whatever platform they use, trade, Tasty Trade or Thinkorswim or whatever, and gave them $5,000 as a start. And here, you're going to learn how to trade, and they bought our course, and here you're going to learn how to trade. You're going to learn how to make money. And I think that's a brilliant idea if you are looking for a Christmas gift for somebody who is very important to you. Okay, you can do one of two things, I guess maybe 3 or 4 things, but you can buy things, right? They're going to have fun with a game. They're going to wear that ugly sweater. They're going to buy what, they're going to do whatever, you buy, right? Or, maybe you can buy an experience, maybe some theater tickets or something. That's always nice, or buy a cruise or whatever. That's nice too, but it'll be forgotten. But if you buy them a life-changing system that they can use, they can put the effort in, and they can use and make money themselves, so that if and when they ever lose their job, or they want to get away from that, or they want a career change, or they just want something to supplement their income. And just knowing how to trade is such a good feeling. All right, buy our course. You can still get it, believe it or not, for $9.95. It's on our website. Go ahead, give it as a gift. Get a trading platform, throw them a few $1,000. Wow, you're going to teach them how to fish. I can't think of anything better than that. All right, what's the difference between stocks and options? Well, let's say you want to buy 100 shares, cost you $450. For SPY, it's going to cost you $45,000. One contract will control 100 underlying shares, maybe for $300. That's $300. If the stock rises $1, your equity in the stock goes up $100. You've got $45,100. However, in your option at a 50 delta, it's going to go $50, which takes you to $350. Folks, your return on investment on the stock, 0.222% versus 17% on the option. Which would you rather have? I got to tell you, after discovering the power of options, I never traded stocks again. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? I would just never go back to that again. All right, once again, one stock, one strategy, 1 hour a day. Learn from the mistakes of other people, including ourselves, us in particular, because frankly, you're not going to live long enough to make them all yourself. All right, remember, if you want what I have, you got to do what I do, and it's been a real pleasure. Thank you all. We'll see you the next time, okay? Get online. Get the trading room. We'll see you online tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Hugh. See you tomorrow.
To keep your eyes